Consumer Confidence Index has been in the news lately, and not for what would seem the right reasons. It recently hit an all-time low. That's concerning because many economists consider the Consumer Confidence Index to be a leading economic indicator, meaning it can tell us about what is going to happen in the future to the economy and therefore the markets. However, a new paper from JP Morgan shows that a low in the Consumer Confidence Index may not be a bad sign for the stock market after all. That's a pretty incredible idea, and in the next few minutes we'll take a look at this paper, and I believe that many people will feel better about the possibilities for the market in the coming 12 months after learning about this important information. Hello, my name is Curtis Chambers. I'm a financial advisor. My firm, the Chambers Financial Group, is located on the west coast of Florida in Largo. And if you like this video, would you please click the like button and let me know, and then I'll continue to make more videos in the future like this. So what is the Consumer Confidence Index anyway? Well, it's basically a survey, and it's done across the United States and the world. And in this survey, they ask people how they feel about the economy over the next 6 and 12 months. And they're able to answer with only 3 answers: positive, neutral, or negative. This information is then released as an index on the last Tuesday of the month. So why does it matter so much about consumer confidence? Well, economists consider consumer confidence to be a leading economic indicator. The thinking goes that when people are confident about the economy over the next 6 months and 12 months, that then they're confident they'll have their jobs, they'll have money coming in, and so they will spend money on things like a new car or upgrading their house or a vacation or consumer products or whatever. But when consumers spend money, this spending powers the economy. And the economy, of course, drives the markets. On the other hand, when consumers are pessimistic, then they may be concerned about their economic welfare over the next year, perhaps about their job, and so they will spend less. They'll hunker down and save money, and then this money will not go into the economy as consumer spending, and that then can push the economy into recession. You may have even heard about the concept of a recession as a self-fulfilling prophecy, and this comes from the idea that if everyone is watching the news, and on the news the economist and the financial media is predicting a recession, then people will think a recession is coming, and therefore they will go into the conservative mode of not spending money, and that reduction in consumer spending will drive the economy into recession. Now, as I mentioned before, consumer confidence recently hit an all-time low, and here's what that looks like. And indeed, it does look ominous, especially from the way that it is viewed as a leading indicator. So now let's take a look at this JP Morgan paper, and at first it can look a little complicated, but it's really not. What we see here is consumer confidence going up and down over time. And actually, we're going back to 1971 with this data. And what JP Morgan did is they looked at all the times that consumer confidence hit a high, which is called a peak. And you can see it's happened numerous times since 1971. And then they looked at all the times that it hit what's called a trough. And a trough is when it hits an all-time low. And you can see that happened many times. But then they asked a very interesting question. Where was the stock market 1 year later? And what they found is when consumer sentiment peaked, the market was on average up only about 4% 1 year later. But when consumer confidence hit a trough or a bottom, on average, the market was up 25%. And let's just look at a few years here. In 1972, after consumer confidence hit a peak, the market was down 6% 1 year later. In 1977, it was only up 1%. In 1984, it was up 13%. In 2000, it was down 2%. In 2004, up 4%. In 2007, down 4%. In 15, down 3%. And I consider February of 2020 to be an outlier because of COVID, but even if we include that, we come to 4% return. But if we look at the negative years, and I'm going through this because it really is interesting, after consumer sentiment hit a low in 1975, the market was up 22%. In 1980, it was up 20%. In 1990, 29% 1 year later. In 2003, up 33%. In 2005, up 14%. In 2008, up 22%. In 2011, up 15%. And again, 2020 is an outlier. But if we consider all those, the market was up 25% on average 1 year later. So that's pretty encouraging information about a negative consumer confidence outlook and the markets. I'm not suggesting that we use the Consumer Confidence Index as a market timing tool, nor am I saying that the market will for certain be up 1 year from now. But what I am saying is that it does appear to be true that just because consumer confidence is very, very negative, which means everyone feels bad about the economy, all the people out there feel bad, I feel bad, we look at the news, we feel bad about it. But that does not, if we look at history, mean that the stock market actually will be lower in 1 year. In fact, it seems to be a contrarian indicator that the market actually can be higher. Now, why would that be? So what my guess is that is happening is that we are essentially dealing with the economic cycle where, as you know, the cycle goes up and it goes down and then it goes up. And that when consumer confidence is peaking, we're at the top of the cycle. And by the same token, when consumer confidence has hit a trough, when it's hit a bottom, we are likely at the bottom of the cycle and things are looking better. So if you've got questions on consumer confidence or the markets, please give me a call, or you may visit me online at chambersfinancialgroup.com and we can schedule an appointment to discuss it. Thank you very much.